Welcome back, everyone. I'm Dib, and I'm joined here by Zaymok, and we're ready to bring you this fifth game of the North American 2017 Winter Championship match between Puffin and XR, the winner of which will be moving on to the grand finals. We have XR left with his Dragon Priest, and it's going to be going up against Puffin's Jade Druid. What do you think of the matchup, Zaymok?
In my experience, the Dragon Priest is actually quite highly favored. I'd say it's about a 60%, which in Hearthstone, stats matter, so it's quite a good win rate first up. The Priest is usually able to just get a really strong start with I think it's the Twilight Whelps and the Wormist Agent. And Druid doesn't really have an easy way to deal with 4 health minions, especially, and that's one of the easy ways that the Druid just gains tempo. The Priest gains tempo early and is just able to really spiral the board out of control. Then Druid can get a win, can steal wins with cards like Innovate, a really powerful card in that matchup, or an early Wild Growth, very good. But other than that, I don't really see how the Druid is going to be able to keep up with the tempo put out by the Dragon Priest.
Yeah, I think you're right. We're likely to see a very board-centric game where really whoever can get on the board and control the board best will probably come out on top. The Dragon Priest does have, as you mentioned, a lot of tools for that, a lot of really strong minions and control tools. But it looks like the players are ready, so we're going to be jumping straight into the game now. We're hopping into the game here, and we have XR on the bottom on his Priest and Puffin at the top on the Druid. Both players on the mulligans here, and we see a pretty good hand here for Puffin with the Innovate and the Fandral.
And that's especially one of the big power plays that we were talking about earlier. And with that coin, he's actually going to be able to get that Fandral on turn 1 if he chooses to. He might not want to because of the potential of Shadow Word Pain, but I think it's quite a good play. Just potentially just win the game from turn 1.
Yeah, we do see XR has what looks to him like a pretty good hand as well, with the Twilight Whelp on 1, even being buffed up thanks to having those dragons in hand.
But as soon as we see this Fandral come down, he's going to change. He's going to be wanting that Shadow Word Pain, sorry.
Yeah, this is where XR really doesn't have an answer to the Fandral. The Fairy Dragon is quite nice in that it is going to be immune to stuff like the Wrath or the Living Roots, which Puffin would have really liked to deal with the minion using those kind of spells.
It's not really an easy clear for Puffin, that's for certain. But I think we're just going to see the Raven Idol immediately. This is certainly one of the stronger plays here. Oh, a hired gun. That's actually quite interesting. He can innovate out the hired gun if he chooses to. I imagine that's what he's going to pick here. That can actually protect the Fandral and leave it on board for another turn. He's going to go for that. But he gets the claw off the spell from the Raven Idol.
Yeah, so the Claw is one of the few spells that we can see here that the Druid can use to deal with this Fairy Dragon. It's a pretty big pickup, but I mean, we did see he had that hired gun option as well. So Puffin really managing to get away with this board a bit, and XR being a bit salty about it there with the emote.
This isn't the conventional Dragon Priest list here with the Shadow Word Heart picked up. Probably a tech choice.
Yeah, not going to be all that useful against the Fandral with his 3 attack.
Certainly. And especially that high gun also has 4 attack, which is something noticeable, especially in this matchup. Priest really doesn't have a way to deal with 4 attack minions. You've got Pain and Death, but nothing that can really clear 4 attack minions.
Yeah, 4 attack has always been sort of a weakness of Priest, and we're seeing it being a bit of a problem here. XR really has nothing to do, or not much to do. Having to just hero power here is pretty weak, and it's going to allow Puffin to generate a really strong board.
What do you think the best line here for Puffin will be?
I really like him dealing with the Fairy Dragon here without having to sacrifice either of his minions. So I wouldn't mind something like Swipe Face and
innovate the hero power.
Innovate the hero power.
Puffin disagrees, going for the Azure Drake.
Yeah, I think he just wants the value of the Azure Drake, and he knows that XR is going to have to trade into his 4-3, so he's not forced to make the trade, and this way he can apply a little bit more pressure to Face. Although, as we mentioned, he would have been swiping Face as well, so that would have also been quite a bit of pressure alone.
So, 2 interesting choices here. We have the Feral Rage and the Brand Bond bit. I don't think the Gentleman is being considered there. Okay, Feral Rage, quite a snap pick. Probably with the consideration that he's going to be wanting to use that on the Azure Drake.
Yeah.
Azure Drake will be dealt with rather easily though by this Wrath and the hero power from Puffin. And this is really just, sorry?
Yeah, the Draconoid Crusher will be...
Oh, yeah, the Draconoid Crusher, sorry. This is something that we talked about before the game, where he was able to get that Innovate fan roll out really early and just, dominate the board from that point on. And
And he's generating a
Exile,
lot of value from both of these Raven Idols and all of his other spells, like the Wrath, both drawing and dealing damage.
here we have the Mark of Nature pickup. I think Puffin's trying to piece together a game-winning combo here. We see the swipe, the Living Roots, the Mark of Nature all in his hand. And that's actually a lot of damage, and Ixar doesn't realize it, but the game could be over really soon for him.
Yeah, we see Puffin is really trying to force his advantage that he's generated from this really strong board. And if Ixar doesn't have a way to stop him, which he has thankfully drawn in the Twilight Guardian, then it could be over. And in
Ooh.
fact, Puffin now with quite a lot of damage in hand.
I believe that's
Is this,
5 from the swipe. Yeah, that looks
well,
to be lethal because it's. Oh, sorry, you
yeah,
don't play
from the
swipe, you
Living
play Mark of
Roots.
Nature. Mark of
Yeah.
Nature, Living Roots, and Hero Power.
Yeah, that gives
Um,
you slightly more damage.
Yeah, necessary. But I do understand the Sylvanas player. Ixar's in a position where he says, I need to not only get on board, but I need to get on board and potentially swing the board. Playing taunts and stalling the game isn't really going to help. It's like playing a passive Feral Rage. It's not really going to do anything.
Yeah, we see that Puffin here has managed to take this game, just getting on board and absolutely steamrolling XR. And that's really big for Puffin. Continuing his momentum from his win at the Innkeeper's tournament, Innkeeper's Showdown tournament. And it's really big for him moving on to the finals here of the NA 2017 Winter Championships.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a bit disappointing for Ixar. He really was looking for redemption. He used to be a very prominent figure in the Hearthstone scene. A lot of tournament wins in the past. Kind of this last year faded away a bit, and I think he was really looking to get up a big win here, just to get back in, get the momentum going again. But they both played well.
Yeah, we
Puffin
can
certainly
see.
plays his arts.
We can see that XR's form is at least returning here. A fairly high placing in this tournament is definitely going to encourage him in future tournaments, and definitely reminding people that he's still a threat to
Fair to be reckoned with,
yeah
certainly.
yeah. But that's all we have for now. I think we'll be moving on to some player interviews afterwards. Stay tuned.
Yes.